Welcome to yet another episode of Candid Talks. As you all know, this is a show that talks about the story between can and did. A lot of us like to do a lot of things and believe we can, but only a few of us actually take that risk, take that extra mile to go ahead and do things. Who I have today is somebody. Okay, so before even I introduce, this is something that I've always enjoyed doing, not just because I have somebody very close in my family who's been with the armed forces, but generally as an Indian, it just gives me immense pleasure to be connected to anybody who's with the armed forces, directly or indirectly. Who I have today on the show is retired Lieutenant Tiger Nagesh sir, who's the force behind Uniq Detective and Security Services. What got me curious when I read the story of Nagesh sir from the book Dhool, Dhoop and Dhakka, where his story has been reported, is the tagline, and it says, "I too can achieve it." Welcome, sir. Good evening. Welcome to the
Thank
show.
you.
It's
Thank
a
you. Thank you.
it's a pleasure. Thank you for giving me time as well. Uh, so, sir, tell me, what is the story behind "I too can achieve it"?
Yeah, this is what actually, looking at my background, just I brought up in a small village, a remote village, and not even seen electricity till my high school. There
Right.
was no electricity in the thing. There was no road, no bus, that kind of situation. With a big family of eight children, and my father was 13 people, 13 siblings were there, and then for my father, we are eight siblings. Like that, that background. Even though our village was just 60 kilometers away from Bangalore, but never been to Bangalore. That was the situation. Like
Right.
so under that situation, when boy be there, and then we used to walk almost 8 kilometers up, 8 kilometers down to an high school from my village. While traveling again, a lot of rivers, rain, hurdles, so many things. But
Right.
it was all challenging. While going through this situation, when hearing, studying so many people's success stories, Vishweshwaraya, something, these are the stories what connected. If
Right.
Vishweshwaraya with that background from Chikbalapur can achieve that, me with the same background or worse than that, why not me? That kind of connectivity has started in my mind. That's where I started my journey with clear mind, background mind that if somebody can achieve, I can also achieve. That was the base thing with everything started.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah,
So you had a career with the Indian Air Force, right?
yeah, yeah,
Uh, and and something that I've observed about Fauji's is it is a world of its own, right?
absolutely,
It's an ecosystem of its own. A lot
absolutely.
of camaraderie. The families get together. It's just a close knit unit. What was the instinct that made you quit, sir? I'm just curious because for me, what I try to explore through the show is that point of time when you finally say, you know what, this is great, but I want to go ahead and do something else. Talk to me about what happened during that phase, sir, when you decided to quit the Air Force.
Thank you, Teja. In addition to whatever you told about defense, I want to add one word. It was an heavenly life.
I
So
agree.
much comfort and something above everything. But what made me to come out of Air Force was just I compared myself where I was. Getting into Air Force itself was challenging. That story goes to hours. I don't want to tell that how I got into Air Force and the challenging thing. And I enjoyed Air Force service, but Air Force has transformed my life. Totally, I become different person.
Right.
Just a person with some fire, want to do something. Air Force converted me as an excellent officer, excellent leader. I wanted to test that. And I also realized being continuing in Air Force, I would go to enjoy life, but at the same time, I may become an Air Commodore or a Air Vice Marshal maximum. But what is next? But instead of that, getting stuck at Air Force, I enjoyed Air Force. I learned a lot from Air Force. I wanted to come back and put to other people and encourage other youths like me from village background to join defense forces and change their life. That was one. Of course, my wife, as usual, because is more comfortable. Defense service is more comfortable for ladies, more respected, everything comfort zone for them actually.
Right.
She has put in a thing, why you want to leave? Then I explained, convinced. I think we had almost a week time discussion. We done SWOT analysis that time only. If I leave, what happens? If I continue, what happens? Advantage, disadvantage. So many homework we had done, and I was able to convince. She was convinced. She told, yes, let us go for it.
Right.
That was the turning point. Just to bring change to others. Whatever change Air Force has changed me, I wanted to see that to others. For that, I came out.
Very nice. So something that I always have observed with people and on social media, all the comments that come in, is there a moral battle in your head, which is one to serve the country, or two to serve perhaps yourself and a few people around you that you're going to make a difference to? Was there a moral battle, sir?
No, when I joined service, again, it was like my whole life has come as a challenging thing.
Right.
Somebody told it's very difficult to get selected in armed forces. And then I told, why not? Again, that concept, even first I went to Mysore
Right.
just for fun field this thing with my lot of my other classmates. We went there because we studied in Mandya next to Mysore.
Right.
Mysore may just with all everything free, food free, transportation, everything in 1 week holiday. Let us go that way. It was
Right.
a casual thing. But when somebody challenged, it is not easy. And why not? With that experience, what I have gone through, I had done a lot of homework within me. And next time, I went with a clear determination to get selected. That was the thing. After joining service and the amount of training what Indian Air Force gives, he will be converted into Pakka Fauji. That you will get all. See, my goosebumps are coming from me. Yes, that's what is Indian Defence Force. The training what they give, unmatchable, uncomparable. That one will get converted automatically once he joins there.
Right.
But it was a tough decision to come out of service. But I was very clean and clear in my mind. Let me do something. Let me get more of my people to Indian Defence Force and change their life. It's a life-changing opportunity to be part of defense service. I can make it very clear.
Right, right. So you also, and I was reading about your story, of course, from the book Dhool, Dhoop, and Dhakka. And one thing that comes out to me very strongly from the story is you're very passionate about rural entrepreneurship, also, isn't it? So it's just not for your security services company, but you take a lot of interest and passion in developing entrepreneurship in the rural areas as well. Talk to me about that. So I'm curious to know from you.
Yeah, again, I am convinced that everybody is intelligent, everybody is good,
Right,
all everything positive only. Only the situation makes somebody bad, pulls them down, or non-performer, all that. The opportunity is given to everybody, and that kind of mending and training, if you give to anybody, each and everybody is going to perform, and they're going to uh, give their best. That is
right,
the main thing. And again, as far as the people in rural, again, there is no exposure.
right,
Otherwise, they have talent and they have that energy. For everything is there, but there is no exposure. And without exposure, again, there is no opportunity. This kind of thing, they'll get stuck with routine things. Just agriculture, little bit study, and SLC come to up to SLC level, fail, and then forget about their studies. This is what is happening those days.
right.
To change that, I just want to make a difference. I'm coming out with a Uniq Academy as a training academy where I want to get youths who are want to do some business, whatever business they want to do, and training them, making them to learn the tricks of the trade and establishing different things, stores and all for them.
Right.
They can run the show and become a good citizen, a productive citizen, and performing one and enjoyable. One can enjoy their life. With that idea, now I'm starting this um, entrepreneurship for the village people.
Very nice. Good luck with that, sir. But
Thank
I'm going to take a step back and talk about Uniq Security Services. Right now, if I know somebody in my family also was involved with running a security company before, if I and I know that it's a very manpower driven unit, right? It's something where you require a lot of manpower. I know there is a lot of attrition. People leave very easily. How different is Unique, sir? What are you doing differently at Unique?
See, any organization will have their own plus and minus.
Right,
Uh, if you want to succeed in doing that particular business, one has to study what are the plus and minus of that industry.
right,
And you have to catch hold of those particular turning points and improve that. Whatever the plus point, you have to enhance it further. Whatever the weaknesses, you have to weaken that. So that concept I studied myself, security industry, how it should be, and what are the why people leaving or why people are continuing. Their comfort zone is that getting payment on time.
right.
That's one point what they look, because they hardly earning anything and whole family is depending on one person. He should get his payment on time. That's one plus point. And also, each and everybody coming back from a good family background and everything, they also expect some respect.
Correct.
That was not in our industry in most of the places, but I studied that. I started calling them as brother and then friend, like that. When I managing director of a company addressing a guard like
Right.
that was a turning point. Everybody started loving me, liking me, all that. I become so close. And payment on time, by hook or crook, I made it a point. I must deliver. Kuch bhi ho jaye. Even if I borrow on some interest, extra interest, but that point I want to achieve. These two things, as far as the security personnel is concerned, I was able to retain them. And as far as the client concerned, yeah, they want quality service and trustworthy service,
Right.
dependable service. That part I ensured because the force was there with me as my family. That was not a challenging one to deliver because they were totally dependable.
Correct.
They are depending on me, I was depending on them. The trust was there, big trust. With that, I was able to fulfill the requirement of the clients. That is the turning point, I can say, what made uniqueness of Unique, the relation, the bondage, and the trust among security personnels, clients, and me,
Right.
triangle. Yeah.
But your force, like I like the way you call that your force. But these guys are the most susceptible right now, given the conditions, wherever they're posted, for various clients of yours. They perhaps are very, very vulnerable to the pandemic as well, right?
Yeah.
So do
Yeah.
you think one, I have two-part questions. One, is there anything differently that you're doing to take care and safeguard your force? And two, do you see a lot of technology invading this vertical as well in India in the future?
Yeah, as far as this pandemic or any issue for that matter, in any uniform force, most important is the moral bondage, connectivity, the moral strength, very, very important.
Right.
So that relation, what I maintained from day one, that was there. And as far as the pandemic concerned, a lot of knowledge has come through media, paper, TV, WhatsApp. But when I personally addressed our people,
Right.
I personally communicated through WhatsApp. Nothing to worry. Take care of this. They're strictly taken care of all that. With that, I think zero case. Everything went well so far, so good. Everything fantastic, and the force is ready.
Right.
So, as far as the technology-driven security industry, yes, there's already Western countries a lot of technology. I think 90% technology and 10% manpower only controlling the security. Whereas in India is other way around, 90% manpower and 10% technology. I think in days to come will going to change, but definitely will not cross beyond 50%.
Right.
Because for our Indian mindset, whatever technology, people will still break that and able to damage.
Right.
So at least 50-50 combination can work in India, and a lot of opportunity scope for technology to come in and enhance our industry in a big way.
So are you ready for that change,
Yeah,
Nagesh?
definitely we have to go as per the change. Otherwise, we don't change, somebody else will change us. So we are wide open for the change, and even people mindset is getting into that, and awareness created very well. Awareness is created. That's what is the future. People are getting used to it, and the change is really making the difference.
Right. So when I was reading about your story, Nagesh sir, in the book, and I heard, or rather I read, that you've received an award from the President of India, you've had an award from a Chief Minister of one of the states in India. But when I saw the background, the moment you came onto the call, there is a lot more than just those two awards. It's visibly seen behind you. Talk to me about some of those, sir. I'm just interested to know.
See, any award is always encouraging, no doubt. But to get an award, one has to not work for the award. One has to be natural and connected with people. And if you are a natural leader or a
Right,
good human being, awards and all people around will love to give that awards and all because they connect with yourself as our own family member or something leader above others. In that, individual qualities are very, very important. More humble you are, and more lead by example leader. You have to lead by example, not just saying something and perform. No, everything. Especially my topmost quality, what I learned in Indian for the time management.
right,
I used to tell my people just what time you're coming. I'd say you're reaching another 2 minutes, 40 seconds, 2 minutes, 30 seconds, something like that. I tell time in seconds and I'm very much within time. And maybe a dress code, that dressing for the occasion, whatever the occasion, best dressed. This kind of thing, these are all picked up from different people. Maybe best dressing concept I picked up my high school master.
right,
My KP Veerappa was one of the high school master. Just the way he was, just he was simple dress he was wearing, a chapel and a nice ironed pant and shirt and a nice watch. Oh, that was a turning point. That's what I picked up. Yes, I must throughout my life I should wear Paka dress code, time management, humbleness, arrogance. Whatever you grow, wherever level you go, one should not get that arrogance to get inside.
right,
The people will be watching. Yeah, I mean, directly, indirectly, somewhere somebody will be watching you. You should be natural always, and it should be very humble, simple. These kind of things that connects people, and that automatically the award comes. In addition to that, based on the requirement and industry organization based, you should involve yourself, get the knowledge of the organization, what is required, and you have to deliver. Not only deliver what is required, you should exceed the expectation of people below you and people above you. That makes a difference.
right,
That's
right.
where the award just flows invariably.
Very interesting. And I know you've also been involved with the Rotary world as well. And your chapter has stood world's number one within the Rotary circles. Talk to us a little bit about that, sir.
See, Rotary is a voluntary organization doing service to the community with the people, especially leaders in the industry, leaders in the society, coming together and spending their own money to serve the community.
Right,
And such a organization, when you're going to be leader among the leaders, there may be like with me when I was a leader, the people like Irfan Razak, one of the richest person in Bangalore, he was Rotarian working under me.
right,
I should not take that as something. No, it should become more humble. Yes, especially in organizing Rotary, a leader not necessarily a person who can perform better than the others, uh, but one should get the others to perform better than himself. That is a formula really I adopted and really worked because I knew there are people, 80% of people better than me, leaders. But it
right,
was a 1 year opportunity. I was aiding them. But in that, if I started doing everything, nothing would have been achieved. When
right,
I requested everybody and decentralized different responsibility given to different people, they are taken care. They performed much better than me if I would have been there. Like that, this result has come where our district 3190 is one of the district out of 540 district in the world,
right.
never crossed even South India number one, but it has become world number one. That's again a lifetime experience. Anything can happen, anything we can achieve with simplicity, humbleness,
Right.
and that connecting with people that makes the difference. Yes.
Right. So when I read your story, when I'm listening to you speak, excuse me, एक बात तो है कि फौजियों में कुछ there is something, sir. I think when you start talking, there's some some charm that I think you already naturally possess once you get into the armed forces. But more importantly, you've received some very important training, like you're crediting it to the Indian Air Force as well.
Yeah.
A lot of youngsters out there, right, don't necessarily have this, this particular training or this exposure. And more so, the latest millennials that are coming out are, I think the way they look at their life is very, very different. What is your message for them, sir? The youngsters right now in India?
See, the lifestyle has changed a lot because I am seeing my father. I have experienced myself, my son now.
Right,
Totally different, 180-degree difference.
right,
When I was a son to my father, how life was, and when father to my son, nothing comparable, 180-degree opposite. And again, we can't say that we are the best in their thinking, their style, and their speed. They are right. And way in which we came up, I would think we were right.
right,
But who is right, who is wrong? No, because nowadays the talent is abundance, and the youngsters coming out with very creative knowledge, innovative, super, and opportunities also plenty. They are all really performing. But however, the baselines one should not forget. I think that tolerance part is what lacking in the current youths. They should learn how to be tolerant, peaceful, cool. That's one thing. And the speed in which they're going, yes, speed is required, but at the same time, a controlled one with a clear direction one has to go. And they should basic things like don't react, try to respond to the situation, and never give up. And mistakes will happen, but the mistake should make you more humble, better than making some achievement, making you arrogant. This arrogancy is little bit what the youths, current youths, getting into,
right,
and they're leaving that way totally. That life was yours, we don't know, and our life is ours. Fine, but ultimately, the basic whatever Indian life got everything. I think youth little correction they have to make in addition to whatever that way in which they're going. Nothing wrong with them.
right,
Nothing wrong with what we the way we can come up.
right. So I'm an 80s kid, and for me, I'm stuck between the super fast millennials to, the moderately paced generation of my parents, right?
Yeah,
Now, I've heard what you just said a few times, sir. I'm going to be honest with you on that, right?
yeah,
But not what many people say is how to get those, because that's the critical part, right? So, for example, to react, not to react but respond, right?
yeah.
Sounds very commonsensical. But today, a youngster, what can he or she do to go learn that skill? What do you suggest? Is there a place where they could go? Is it something that they'll have to talk to somebody? Uh, how do you think they should inculcate that?
Yeah, one can pick up a lot from their parents to start with.
Right,
Because parents, yeah, of course, they may not be knowing what is computer, Wi-Fi, this thing and all speed. Yes, fine, but the lifestyle qualities, whatever the parents. Now I remember my father always, and I will keep talking to my children. My father taught me this. I learned this from my father. Something I keep quoting them, just to bring that basic things in them. In addition to what are speed and lifestyle, fine. That where they can learn, I think nobody is ready to teach because in which they this youngster looking at the old people. But I think best part is to pick up from the parents. And nowadays, knowledge available nowadays, like one can go through and try to understand why this was done, why this, what are puja we are doing, prayer we are doing, all that. Some people, youngsters say all that bullshit not required. No, there's all everything got some meaning. Like especially listening to Sadhguru Jagi Vasudev, I think a lot of things one can learn.
true.
A lot of Gurujis are teaching, yes, it is there, but best thing is parents.
Right. Thank you. Thank you. I think that's very powerful what you said. And you've been an entrepreneur now for a while, Nagesh sir.
Yeah.
What's your message for entrepreneurs?
Entrepreneurs, yes, it is really challenging. Working for somebody is totally relaxed one. I mean, need not worry about it. Need not bother about it. But when you are working for yourself, you have to be alert and awake
Right.
24/7. Your commitment, involvement has to be 100%. Whether
Right.
working for somebody also, yes, you have to show all the qualities. In addition to that, you have to own everything. Not only calling yourself as a owner. Owner means not financial owner. Other abundance responsibility you have to own, and you have to take decision to the situation. The decision making is what makes the difference. But decision making again depends on your involvement, your knowledge, skill, attitude, behavior, and this attitude, behavior, good part of it when you adapt yourself, make it as a habits, that really helps you. You should not study something, what can I do for this situation and all. You should not refer anything, but if your attitude, behavior comes as a habit and they are already the quality with you, quick decision. People around me says that one of the plus point that quick decision making, because already data is there with me where I can take decision. That always proves 98% of the time, yes, positive. Never failed or deviated because of data. What is the data? Experience is the data. Or preventive measures, study, involve yourself and understand what is that your profession demands. That you prepare yourself, then decision making will be pakka. With a good decision, things will move on, will be more productive.
Right. Thank you. So we've been talking about this book that's coming up now, Dhool, Dhoop, and Dhakka. And yours is one of the 14 stories that's been listed out there. And I've read all the 14. And I think all of them, like yours, are incredible stories that one can learn from. I've been told by the authors not to reveal too much, and hence my questions are not in particular about what is covered in the book, because we'd like people to read about your stories. So, but
Okay.
if you have to give us a glimpse before I let you go for the evening, did you have any Dhool Dhoop Dhakka moment in your life that you would recollect and want to share with us?
My whole life is Dhupataka. So where I was and where I am here now, that gone through so many such situation, and even now, life goes on because nothing is right, nothing is wrong. As I told, people claim that yes, we are wrong. That's fine. Yeah, they are right. Somebody claims that I am right. Yes, I am right. But every problem got more than two solutions. They say like that. In that aspect, everybody is right their own way.
Right,
But if you don't take care of the situation and come out of the situation quickly, you will be dumped. So
right,
for that, you have to be smart enough and going through such a thing, hurdles, you have to develop some qualities within you as a principles of your life. Those comes to help when such situation comes. It should become routine.
right,
A person getting such situation, somebody collapse or they give up for life. No, these are all routine things. That's where I volunteer myself to more things. Even though I'm just my working hours 16 hours. When I had Modi ji working for 19 hours, 20 hours, I never taken back. Yes, must be working. Yes, he's. But when you tell this to somebody else, and I कोई story कहानी बोलता है how one can work for 18, 19 hours. No, now I absolutely believe that yes, Modi ji must be working for 20 hours. So that's how when you volunteer yourself to take any challenge and situations, automatically you will come out of that such Dhaka and all everything. But in life, when you want to progress, especially you rise more level, you rise more such this will come as a chessboard. You have to place all that and smartly come out with a smart movements of change. Life is a chessboard. That's what I tell my people. Nothing is easy, nothing is comfortable. Everybody got their own problem,
right,
whether a poor person, a rich person. Even my father used to say that. A fellow wearing one this thing jacket is having cold as much that only, and is to settle in Canada.
Right.
But a person wearing three jackets, he'll be having that much cold. So that means problems. He was referring to problems. So like that, whatever you are exposed to, more Dhool Dhakka you are exposed to, and you must know how to come, and it should become a routine thing, not that one time it's going to happen, and then after going through nothing with that, nothing like that. It is a routine, part of the life.
Right.
Yes.
So thank you, sir. Thank you for taking this time today on the show.
Thank you.
You've secured the country being in the Air Force. You're securing a lot of your clients now with your unique detective and security services. You now are getting into training rural entrepreneurs and rural resources, perhaps also securing their livelihoods as well.
Yes.
So God bless you, sir. Continue to do a fantastic job for our country like you've been doing. Thank you for taking time. Good luck for your story on the book. May a lot many people read about you and get inspired. Jai Hind, sir. Dhanyawad. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Teja. Nice introduction. Thank you very much. Thank you.